What is going on, guys? Braedon Flynn, one of the contributors here at Film Supply Club. And as the world really is confined in isolation and sort of self-confinement, whether you have maybe a family that you're staying with, maybe just a roommate, maybe just yourself, maybe just a pet, all those sort of things, wanted to give you an assignment as a photographic challenge to be able to create while you're confined. And that assignment is the art of the self-portrait. So the difference between a self-portrait and just a good old selfie would be the intention behind the photo and actually curating something, being thoughtful about what you're taking and how you're taking it. And there's a lot of really good examples out there of people who have done that well. Cindy Sherman is a beautiful example of someone who's done an incredible job with self-portraits. I learned about her when I took a history of photography class about a handful of years ago, but a couple of handfuls of years ago. But she's someone that she would basically she would dress up in different outfits and put herself in different scenes. She would actually create these scenes and then take portraits of herself doing that. So it's an idea where she's wearing different outfits, different wigs. Photos that would look like this film noir, something out of a movie that she would be playing this or acting this part in, and take a photo of herself doing that. Or just constructing different scenarios and different things, different scenes, which can be done in your own house. Different rooms, different lighting, different outfits, dressing up with different subjects, putting yourself in positions that sort of are telling the story of what your life is like in this time of confinement. And it would be such an interesting project to see that over time, to do that and create, like, what is our daily activity? What does our daily routine look like? And almost like recreate those to make a photo with yourself in those photos would be a really fun one. Andy Warhol is a slightly famous guy that you may have heard of, who used to shoot a ton of Polaroids, and he's taken a bunch of self-portraits that way, as you can see. Robert Mapplethorpe is someone that used to hang out with Andy Warhol. He's a really famous photographer, and he's got a series of his own self-portraits. The most relevant currently is a lady named Vivian Maier, whose photos were found at an auction. You can see the story, since we all have a little bit of time right now, that it's called Finding Vivian Maier, and it shows this whole story of who she was. And she was a nanny in the streets basically in New York City. And she would walk the streets and take photos. She has a lot of self-portraits of herself in the reflection of store windows, or just in mirrors on the ground, or just different things like that. But as a street photographer, her work is just stunning. But go look that up. I have a link to it down below, but you can also find it on Netflix, I'm pretty sure. So Finding Vivian Maier. And again, I've got a link below to just watch the trailer for that, which is just an amazing film. So I highly recommend watching that. But I decided to shoot some self-portraits here in studio. I set up this backdrop. I'm using a Pentax 6.7, which is one of my favorite cameras, with a 105 lens, which I think is just gorgeous for portraits. And to get the self-timer action, a lot of cameras have self-timers. If you have a Canon AE1, if you've got, just Google your camera self-timer, and you'll probably be able to figure out the instruction manual on how to shoot a photo on self-timer. So what happens here is you twist this dial, and then as it goes, this little lever pokes out. And then right about here, it would fire your camera and be done. So the other thing to focus, since I'm not sitting there, is I'm gonna put something else. Sometimes I've stood up like a bunch of backpacks in place of where I might be if I was trying to focus for video before there's autofocus on the cameras. But I'm gonna put a light stand there and then focus like it's my face. Again, it's just trying to think of like different ideas that you could be using different parts of your house. You could be using, I obviously am in an office. Well, I don't know if it's obvious, but I'm sitting at an office that's all by myself and just got the backdrop. But you could be using different elements of your house, your kitchen, just finding a cool window light. You could be sitting on your porch. There's so many different things you can do in the same situation. You can dress up in different outfits and have fun with it. But yeah, just a challenge to think creatively. So let's try a couple more. I really hope that you take this as an assignment and you go out there and you don't just consume this content, but actually go out now and create something of your own. To go and think of a concept that you can recreate or create in your own home or wherever it is that you're stuck, and whoever else's house you're stuck, wherever you are, with whoever you're with. And yeah, I hope that this is something that is encouraging, that is challenging, that gets you to think a little bit more creatively. So thanks tons for being a watcher. We have links below to different gear that was used, to where you can get filmed, where you can get cameras, to some of the different photographers that I mentioned, all down below. Would love to hear what you are shooting in the comments below. Challenge each other. Use this as a community. This film shooting community is such a rad one. Be a part of it and contribute. So thanks tons. We'll catch you on the next one. Be well, stay well. See you around.